Welcome back. What does the vault have welcome back. Welcome back to Merlin's Vault. And what does the vault have in store for us today, Tori?
We're ranking.
We're doing an actual ranking video.
We are. I'm very excited. We're going to do a tier list of all of the commander, obviously, Magic the Gathering. Magic the
You can
Gathering
even
decks
see
that
him.
we
Oh, wrong hand. There, right there.
I mean, we have more than that. So I think there's like 30 something decks that we're going to go through.
Yep.
Yes.
30 commander decks. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to be ranking them on a scale from different factors. One's going to be like more of a fun rating.
Mhm.
There's a rating for how optimized or fun they are to pilot and go against.
And how much they piss me off.
And the salt level is also going to be included in there. So salt scale. Let's just jump into it, I suppose. Okay.
Should I do to Merlin?
Okay, so we just got back from her petting my beard and her petting Merlin. I think she might be on some sort of psychiatric.
I danced like 4 hours this morning and I'm a little tired.
Okay, so we can actually start at any point in our commander tier list. As you see, we have all of our commanders here.
Is that 30?
Yeah, it is actually 30.
Really?
It's kind of wild. We may have played around with other commanders while at locals and things like that, but these are the main 30 that we've at least built a deck around and optimized it a little bit. And so it might have some pre-con kind of commanders in there. I don't even know if you remember all these, so let's just jump into it. Starting at number 1, first things first, are you good with the S tier, A tier?
Yes,
because we can also change these.
No, it's okay.
So we can also call that poopy.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
All right, well,
that's just a shit tier.
We're just gonna go in D. I don't think anything's necessarily F.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
I don't agree that anything would be F. So
no.
I mean, I agree that nothing would be F.
Well, I had an idea for one of them to be on the bottom of this list.
Okay.
For weird reasons. Okay, so starting with Astarion, I think. Astarion's a good jumping point. You want to start off with Astarion?
So he's mine, and I find him to be quite attractive. I think he's fun. I just like the two options that you can pick between for his was it friends and feed. I think that's kind of cool. I will say I don't always win with him, which is perfectly fine. He's not like he's the highest tier that I have. I know there's some other black and white combo commanders that might be better, but I do like his, and he does definitely bring a little chaos to the group when we play. I don't know. I'm gonna rank mine probably like because I'm biased because I like love them. They're like my little children.
I think we pick commanders for a reason because they appeal to us in some sort of sense or sensibility. That's what the word I'm looking for.
Sense and sensibility.
Yeah, sense and sensibility. Let's start. I know. It's a reference.
Austen.
Yep.
I love Jane Austen.
I know you do. Okay. Astarion, I think the thirst meter is at an all-time high. Okay, so you're saying A?
You might think he's a B.
Yeah, because I'm going to also put in a couple of thoughts because he doesn't play like a straightforward vampire. He does have that Azorius, more so the Azorius flavor. And in the games of like Baldur's Gate, he's a rogue. He really comes out of nowhere. He can be very idle for like the first 5 rounds of the game while you're waiting to build enough mana up for him while you're playing land tax, smothering tithe, things that can get him out a little bit faster. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you have some enchantments on the board like Wound Reflection or Sanguine Bond, and you're like, okay, this could be scary until like a Dark Ritual, something happens, Cabal Ritual, and then he's out, and then apparently someone just took 32 direct damage, which is very scary, and it feels a lot like you're piloting a rogue. I just think that 6 mana is like a little bit more expensive for him. So there are games where you might be sitting on Astarion, and other people are just simply outpacing you, so you need expensive cards in order to make it work.
That's true. Okay, the more I was thinking about it, I was like, I think he's a B because sometimes And it just really depends on what cards I draw.
Yeah.
There have been times where I'm like, I can't do anything, like nothing's happening. And then there's other times where I pop off and I got a lot. So he's a bit more kind of all over the place. So yeah, I could see him being a B. Put him in B.
You want to put him in B? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put Astarion in B.
This took a while for the first one.
Yeah. We're getting
faster.
the rules down. Okay. So next one I want to start on is Saruman. So I'm jumping the list a little bit. So Saruman, this is the Saruman that amasses orcs, and he runs red, blue, black, which is perfect for a wizard. There's a lot of cool effects where you can copy instances and sorceries and to amass your army. So playing goblins is very fitting, very on flavor for Saruman, playing like gutter snipe and being able to spell snipe people with red and blue while tutoring out some of your bigger creatures, maybe playing something like orcish bowcasters to prevent your opponent's card draw, which is really fun, and taking out a lot of minor threats and mana dorks. Saruman, it builds like one big token, not just like 1,000 different tokens. So that's also pretty fun and on flavor. I made him work for a little bit. I think there are better amassing tokens style of strategies. But I love the sounding of the Urukai. Like every time I break him out. And I don't know if you remember going against this guy, but you could get an amassed army of like 30 pretty quickly.
Okay, but you're missing the biggest point about him. It's Christopher Lee.
It is Christopher Lee.
So therefore, he's an S tier.
Yeah, he's metal. He's super metal. I was thinking about what if I like the card a little bit more.
He even recorded a metal album.
That is true.
Yes.
Okay. I think
I'm like, are we ranking the actual deck or are we just ranking him? We're ranking him.
We're kind of doing a lot. We're doing both. I mean, of course, it's Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee has his own little. I could put a Christopher Lee tier in here.
It's above S.
Yeah, I think personally, these are my favorite commanders of all time, mind you, for this list. So it's not ranking bad. I would say C tier. He's just not my favorite. I think red blue is also. I'm getting more used to it, but
it's been a while since you played him. Yeah,
the games feel either cheesy or pretty balanced. And I think I've fallen more on the cheesy side of Saruman. I want to actually try the Saruman of many colors because it's the wording on it is way too much. Okay, who do you want to start with next?
Well, you should do another one of yours because there's a lot more of yours than there are of mine.
Let's do Captain Mindflayer. Nagathod, I think his name is.
Oh,
remember him?
Yes,
Demir. Everybody loves Demir, don't they?
Oh, that was awful to go against.
Okay.
It was so that was
because I was rallying the top sales and scavenging the booty. I was
you were doing a really good job. It was just you were beating everything.
Yeah, it's really fun as a mill strategy, but you're not trying to mill your opponents out, which I really like about him. I think he's a really fun first commander for Demir because blue and black, you are stealing a lot of things from your opponents, but it really depends on what they have on the top of their libraries because you're trying to go through a lot of their shipwreck cards, like in their graveyards, and look for the best creatures so you can have them join your Davy Jones style of army, which is really fun. It's on flavor. I was thinking about revisiting this guy but I've been playing around with different Demir strategies. People usually hate it because they don't want your cards getting stolen.
Yeah, I mean you can.
But there's
a challenge to go against.
There's it's just fun when you're piloting it yourself because you're like Matating Cacophony. So everybody mills 14 cards off the top of their libraries. Now I have way better cards to choose. Or Breach the Multiverse. So now you kind of double dip. And the flavor, it just feels like Davy Jones. So I think B tier. I think B is a really good place to put.
All right, put him there.
All right.
Do another one.
Do another one. Let's talk about Vondris. I'll do a lot of my precons because I did start on a lot of Dungeons and Dragons precons. I thought the Dungeons and Dragons set was really good. Are you thinking right now when you played against him?
Him?
Yeah. He's a dragonborn barbarian, Tori.
Oh.
I could also bring him up on the other screen so you could see him a little bit better. You're kind of doing like this, like glasses on the bridge of your nose, like, what are these kids playing these days?
I have lasered eyes, so squinting does not do anything to help me.
Oh, yeah.
It does not.
It doesn't give you like Kano vision where you can like, or like Predator where you can just like zero in on a target.
You can't tell them that.
Oh, okay.
Then everyone's gonna get their eyes lasered.
Yeah. Project X. Okay, so Vondris, he's the Dragonborn barbarian that does.
I do remember him now.
Things to deal damage to him, so he can make dragon spirits and rage out. Which are these 5/4s that if they attack once, they kind of dissipate. But it's really cool, like him summoning a dragon army of his ancestors to fight alongside. He's just not a very like high tier commander. There's a lot of other big stompies, but he's really fun if you're breaking into the game. That's on record my very first precon that I ever bought.
Aww.
Yeah.
Aww.
I like dragons, and we'll spoiler alert for the rest of the episode. I want to talk a lot about dragons, but you did go against Vondris. He was one turn away from beating you until you had a Vein Ripper and just depleted me of my health. So
was that with Astarion?
No, that was with Slimefoot. That's back in the day when you put Vein Ripper and Slimefoot, which is really, really scary. Yeah. But I will say Vondris would also kind of go in that high C, low B territory. Okay. What do you think?
C.
C? I'll put him above Saruman. I like him. Special place in my heart. Okay. What about we talk about Bello, one of your precons?
Yeah.
Okay.
About him.
Yeah, you kick us off because you've played it more than I have.
Oh, I like him. I like him a lot. He was fun. I did when we. Okay, so he's the only precon that I bought and played immediately as is.
Yeah, you were like, give me like 2 weeks with this guy. Let me see if how he plays out before I make any decisions.
Yeah, but I thought he's fun, but then I said I can see how like making some changes to him can make him even better. I really do enjoy playing him. I didn't get any of the other decks from Bloomburrow. I do have the other commanders, but he's a lot of fun to play with. And actually, I was thinking like, oh, I want to play with him again. It's been a little bit, it's been a tiddly bit.
You want high value, mana value artifacts and enchantments to make him work. And it comes with some really good ones.
It does. And it was kind of different than what I had played before. Like I wasn't used to his style when I first got him, but no, I really like him a lot.
I would say that he's kind of in the Vondris category for me because he's very like focused in on what he's trying to achieve. I think it's kind of fun if you want to add vehicles from Ether Drift to it because they have a lot of cool Golgari
I didn't even think
vehicles.
Of that. Yeah.
So you can make a Bello Go Fast deck, which would be really fun. But he's still trying to do the same thing on his turn and utilize his turn. But if you
now I'm just picturing him, his little raccoon self-driving cars.
Yeah, it is fun.
That's so cute. Yes.
It's like a Rocket Raccoon piloting the Milano.
Yes.
But he doesn't have a lot of interplay on like other people's turns.
No, he doesn't. It's pretty much I only get to play on my turn, which I'm okay with. I don't always like doing that. There are times when I do, but no, I don't know. I like him a lot. I think just as is, his precon, it needs some work. So maybe more like a C or B, and I think we could get him beefed up.
You want to put him next to Vondris?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go with a not so precon. And I have been really wanting to talk about this guy because I think he's very much in the spirit of what makes Commander awesome. I'm going to talk about Karazakar, the Eye Tyrant. And I have a lot of D&D commanders because, that's a special place in my heart, and as well as Tori's. So I want to offer up some really cool boss monsters as well. Mm-hmm. Beholders being one of my favorite creatures. They're also very paranoid, and there are some crazy deals that are being launched into the political side of Commander. Mm-hmm. So, and I think a lot of that could be a lot of the politics behind him is behind goad and goading your opponents into attacking each other.
Oh my God, you love doing that.
And just trying to put it in everybody's ear that you're not actually attacking anybody. You're actually giving them gifts to attack each other. And if you attack me, well, you could sacrifice your creatures. You could end up giving me a bunch of ogres. And I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but it's going to be really bad on them. And then also having a Carter Doom Scourge to just put on the battlefield and test everybody and goad everybody. There's some really funny cards in there. There's like Bedlam, where nobody can block creatures, and you can give things double strike at the same time, which is just like all hell's breaking loose. And you're playing as Karazakar going, yes, I don't have to do much. I just have to goaded everybody into killing themselves. Mm-hmm. Karazakar is S tier. Fight me. No. He's not a very strong deck. He actually technically counts as a bracket level 1 because you're not really trying to come up with a concrete strategy to win. All you're trying to do is create chaos at the table. And if your goal is to have fun, Karazakar might be a really good card for you to use.
So what, B tier?
As far as fun, I mean, I think he's like an A tier for me.
All right, A tier it is. Because we have seen other people play him, like your deck that you made, and they've had a lot of fun. This isn't opening.
And everyone's like,
so weak.
What is this tier list? This doesn't make any sense. Like, well, it's our tier list.
It's our tier list. Come at us.
Don't come too hard, though. I'll cry.
I'm awake
Don't
now.
quote me on that. I just realized what I just said. All right, so we talked about Karazakar. I mean, he can make a case for a B tier. I think he's just fun to use, and especially when you're playing with new players and you're just wanting to introduce them more to the politics or chaos side. If you want a deck that's very much focused, I would probably pick Mowu. Mowu is very high up there with me as well.
Oh my gosh, that deck. It's hard to hate a dog so much, but I do. It is so frustrating, and I try to tell people when we're playing because it's so good and it's so fast. So depending on the deck that I'm playing, yeah, like if it's a Sarion and I don't get the cards that I need, it's gonna take me forever. And there he is, and it's just like bam, 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 bam. Okay, it's 64 dog that I have now, and you're like, okay, this is turn 4. What the hell happened?
Exactly.
He's S tier.
Not only is it fast, it's also it recovers fast.
It does.
So if some there's a board wipe or everybody's sacrificing creatures, all that green ramp is insane. Like the Ordeal of Nylea, so you can boost its power, and once you have that power with Mowu, because it's just one attack away, you get a couple of forests. That's insane. And you can also have really good card draw with green by playing Return of the Wild Speaker while it has like 10 power. So you're 10 cards off the top of your library into your hand. That's amazing. Mowu hits really hard. It's vigilant, so you feel like it's good to protect you at the same time. Mowu's just the best boy.
Put it in S tier and move on.
All right. Mowu is in S tier. I'm just glad that you admit it.
I said it. I said it willingly.
Okay. Who's a high ranking and or a very low ranking commander to you? As you notice, I've also put Shrufus on this list.
Yeah, I like Shrufus.
You like Shrufus? Let's talk about Shrufus a little bit.
I like Shrufus.
I know you like Saproling, so Shrufus is on this list. Whenever you attack with a fungus or a Saproling, you gain that many Saprolings. So it makes a ton of Saprolings turn 3 or 4.
What happened to my Shrewfist deck?
Well, cards are being used for slime. I don't have enough to make like both decks right now.
Do you hear this? There's the excuses.
I'm my hands are tied. I've got my resources locked down, so I can't have 2 Gaia's Cradles.
I don't know. How dare I? Zach offered for us to purchase it from him. It's only $1,000, Clay.
It's only 1,000.
It's only 1,000. That's less than our mortgage.
A couple of standouts in this deck would be Champion of Lambholt. So every time a creature hits the field, its power is going to go up by 1. And if its power, when you attack, nobody can block unless your power matches Champion of Lambholt. So all your Saprolings are going to attack somebody. You're going to gain that much value in Saprolings, and they can't block. So meaning that their health is going to take a serious hit. It's kind of like the Lathril, but a little bit cheaper because you don't have that life drain ability by having enough Saprolings. But it's very fun. It's very straightforward. I don't know how you felt about playing it, but
I liked it. I was trying to think which tier.
You're focusing really hard.
Because I was trying to remember.
It's just a mushroom.
It is just a mushroom. No, I really liked him. Because I'm trying to think. Because I do think Slimefoot's still better than Shrewfist, or at least that deck was. Slightly. So, spoiler. I don't know. I would say I think he's higher than Bello because Bello needs to have some work done to the precon.
Okay.
So like a B.
Okay, we can put him in here.
I'm not very critical of my decks, especially since a lot of them are built by Clay. And he does such a good job. He's such a good boy.
Thank you. Well, that was weird, but okay. So let's go back into more value engine stuff, because these are the decks that I think are very fun. Like once you play it a couple of times, you start to see, aha, okay, I'm starting to get a lot of treasure. I'm starting to get a lot of creatures. I'm starting to goad things. I really want to talk about Prosper a little bit. Prosper Tomebound, at your end phase, you can exile the top card of your deck, and you can cast that card. And if you cast any card from exile, you get a treasure token. So it rewards you from digging beyond the plane and into something maybe more demonic and pulling stuff from the ether. Yeah,
I remember him now. That's why I was like,
Tiefling Warlock.
You can't really read them on here, but I was like, oh yeah, he is a Tiefling. He's a little Tiefling.
That wasn't me picking my nose. That was me adjusting my fake glasses.
Don't make fun of people with glasses.
I'm not making fun of
Clay. I wore glasses for like 10
what
years.
Good are laser eyes if you can't project lasers from them?
I don't have to wear glasses. That's what they are.
You can focus a little hard, a little harder.
Well, if mine hadn't gotten messed up like it happened in Final Destination, I would have had more laser.
Oh, true. You fell out of a building.
I did.
It's based on your life.
Okay. But
Prosper is probably the most fun I've had with a Rakdos deck, which it also hurts me because I see Karazakar up there. Prosper is another of the precon that came out in the same time that I started really investing in Magic again. So Prosper he's up there. You could play Revel in Riches, do like a treasure strategy that way. You can get a lot of value with Apprentice, like the Loyal Apprentice, and start making Thopters every time you play something from exile or give things +1/+1s. There are so many options with Prosper as the pilot. I'm giving this a A.
Okay.
That's 2 Rakdos commanders and A. All right.
You love them.
I do.
You do love them. Those are very Clay colors. That's also why I was surprised with Moe when you made that being mono green, because I was like, out of the two of us, I'd have the mono green over you.
Yeah, well, I made it because my friends usually take me as a Wooburg style of commander player, where I like to play flavors from every single deck. I like go to the candy store and I just load it with different things. I don't get like 1 or 2 things. So I wanted to show that I could play more monocolored strategies. And it's also a fun tool to teach new players
that's
to
true.
have those decks around. So let's also talk about
some of these. I'm not remembering what they are, what the picture is.
Yeah. Let's talk about
that guy. Who's that guy?
This guy?
Yeah.
That's Corvold.
That's Corvold?
Yeah, let's talk about Corvold for a second. Another scaly boy.
I remember going against Corvold, but I'm not remembering that picture.
You're playing Jund, and Jund is a lot of recycling and value and infinite combos. I would play Corvold and accidentally stumble ass backwards into victory sometimes because the sacrifice engine of making treasures, and treasures being one of the most overpowered freaking tools in the game of Magic, you can make treasures and instantly sack them and bring creatures back and just have Corvold either get you there in commander damage. You can have him draw your whole deck. You can make an infinite supply of treasures. And Corvold also used a Phyrexian altar kind of strategy in there, but he could also get you there with a couple of cards of just a land and an enraged Arnisaur or whatever, Surly Badgesaur, and it would get you there on accident as well.
Did I enjoy playing against him? Yeah. Did I lose often against him? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, I do.
I remember you had Illusionist Bracers on your Slimefoot, and then you played a Vampiric Tutor, you put Ashnods on the top of your deck, and then you're like, all right, I just need one turn, and then Corvold's just doing things on right before your turn, and you went, God damn it.
Yeah.
Corvold is just so freaking fast. I'm going to give him like A tier just because he is fun when you're using him, and he may be maybe too good, maybe should be on the game changer list. Maybe, but games do go fast, and you can play more games with fast commanders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just lose a lot more.
No, you don't. You also have killed me with this freaking guy, this shirtless vampiric.
He's not totally shirtless. He just is showing his joie de vivre.
Yeah. We could also talk about Karlach for a second as well.
Yeah, she is cool. I do like her.
If you guys have seen that commander video, I played Karlach with a Boros strategy. She had a white background.
That was against my Astarion, which that did not go well for me.
It didn't go well for any of us. I think we were playing with a lot of like counter Magic players, which is fine. And things got flown at us and a giant enraged monkeys, but that's here or there. Go watch the video.
Yeah, there was also a torrential downpour.
Oh yeah, that was
I was
nuts.
concerned that the power was gonna go out, but we endured.
We did. Karlach was able to play a background that gave her double strike. I mean, you could play backgrounds like Raised by Giants, give her a 10/10 on top of whatever she plays because she's going to get just one extra combat built into a creature card. So it could be you on the chopping block against this barbarian if the cards line up. There's a lot of useful tutors in white. That's why I played her. But you could also play blue so you can use some counter magic. And it's like the least is it deck that you've ever played because it's a Karlach, Enraged Karlach, extra combats, and then you're bolstering her with the Sailor background. So that way you can attack the one particular player, and it's kind of like a dethrone mechanic and just kill that player outright. Really, really fast. So I think she's super straightforward for me, and a straightforward deck I think is going to just get like a B, unless it's just something that really stands out. I think Karlach could be.
I do like her, but no, it felt, and I think she is pretty on par with Astarion.
Yeah, I do try to add her to the 99. I think she's like a really good win con of herself. Okay, you want to hear something that's not that I don't like in a commander?
Sure.
I'm gonna put Narset in D. Okay, hear me out.
Ooh.
I know. Narset, Enlightened Master, is a Jeskai 4-cost commander with First Strike and Hexproof, which is one too many keywords in this one creature. Hexproof is probably the one I would take out of that if I was developing this card, because that is insane. You can't interact with this Narset, and if their deck is filled with any red-blue cards, you're going to have a horrible time. You just need to connect with Narset one time, and once you do, you exile top 4 cards of your deck, and you can play all non-land permanent cards, or not even permanents. You can play spells from the top of the deck, just any non-land spell. So the only times that you can whiff on this is if you load up your deck with a lot of mana rocks, which you don't necessarily need. But she can storm out so freaking fast, and Magic becomes this game of let's figure out how you just won on accident, because you have a Boros Charm sitting in your graveyard, and now you copied it like 18 times. That is wild. Or you could take extra turns for 5 turns.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like I got to play when you play her.
I felt really bad. But Narset is one of my favorite canonical characters in Planeswalkers. It's just...
Also, that art is amazing. And that is the card that you have. The art is beautiful.
It's badass.
But no, it's not fun to play against.
Yeah, so I'm putting it in D just because it didn't feel great. And also, I mean, competitive, probably go up a tier. Probably should be in like B or C, but I'm putting it in D because it enraged me. And everybody felt like, all right, well, I guess I'll go home. All right, who else?
Do Drist.
Drist Doerden from Menzo Berenzan. I've been reading a lot of Bob Salvatore recently.
Show off here, right?
Thank you. I know about Drist. I love Drist as a character. Probably one of the most recognizable D&D characters of all time. Hope they do a TV show with him and his party. But Drist is super fun. Maybe a very overlooked potential commander from Forgotten Realms. So Drist has the ability as a Selesnya commander to level up in this game, much as you do in real life and in D&D. Once he sees a creature on the battlefield that has died, you get a number of +1/+1s equal to the difference between the power of those two creatures, Drist and that creature that just died. So Primeval Titan, if a 10/10 just died, he gets +1/+1 counters until his power equals 10. He's also a double striker. He also comes out with Guinevere. And I like this guy a lot. I'll play him for the channel because he's very fun.
I want you to. Although I really don't like having to attack Guinevere. It makes me feel bad.
Oh, yeah. Guinevere is also, it's going to feel bad because the deck is built like a sacrifice deck. So you sacrifice one creature, you bring out like a Vorinclex, or you bring out something like a Phyrexian Dreadnought, and his power is enough to take out a player outright. So Guinevere gives that option to turn Guinevere natural ordered into a Vorinclex or something even scarier. And it's just unbelievable. It's really fun. A lot of players don't see it coming. It's very underrated for me. I would say, looking beyond just making him a Voltron style of commander, maybe A.
Put him in A, move on.
Okay.
Do this one because I don't know what it is.
Niv Mizzet Reborn. That's just the art I use for Niv Mizzet Reborn.
Oh. I was like, I can't. Oh, now I see it.
Niv Mizzet Reborn.
Got it.
Usually I don't play a lot of Niv Mizzet because it's Izzet, which is red-blue. But this one is Wooburg. If you have the money to invest in a lot of Wooburg lands, maybe this is worth it. But it's for someone that likes to have an answer to things and loves the interplay in Magic, is someone who would enjoy this. You saw me just like basically flip the top 10 cards of my deck on ETV and pick up all of the cards that were 2 different colors matching. So you can get a Dimir, you can get a Boros, you can get a Selesnya card. Those cards go into your hand. Everything else goes on the bottom of your deck. So I don't know how you feel about me coming up with answers on flickering this guy in and out.
It was fucking annoying. That's what it was.
Well, there goes our one F word. Potty mouth. You used it on Niv Mizzet Reborn.
Yeah, I didn't even get to Tiamat with it.
It is funny because you might be playing cards like Limdoom's Vault, and then you're just sitting there reading the card going, okay, so I can basically look through my deck for any card. And then you're doing this the whole time.
It did feel like with that one, it was a lot of, wait, I can do this. And then you're going through stuff. Mm-hmm. And I know you're looking for things and you're reading stuff or, the top 10 cards.
Yep.
It was just, it felt like the turns were very long.
Yeah.
With him. And it's very boring. And then I'm like,
okay.
I'm gonna just do something else. I'm gonna do like some Sudoku while you are playing your Magic game by yourself, and then just let me know when I can play a card. Just let me know.
Yeah, he doesn't have like a big strategy going forward. He wants to be able to have other players take themselves out, but he's better at doing that than Karazakar. But it's kind of boring to go against. I would probably defer to you and probably just put him in C tier.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd probably put him probably right there.
That's not C, that's B.
Oh. Maybe there.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Ryu, the Road Warrior. You haven't gone against this guy yet, but he's a Boros. He's kind of in that same Karlach.
Nice.
Well done. You haven't gone against Ryu yet, but he does have a potential of getting infinite Hadoukens, which I think is really funny because if you know one move in Street Fighter, it's down forward, punch for a fireball, and then you just do that over and over. He does have the ability to get stronger through his training and having him fight with other things. But I also like just having one big Hadouken to maybe take everybody out. You haven't seen that yet, but I'll put him in C tier because you don't have. Okay. We haven't really seen him pop off yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Liberty Prime.
I like Liberty Prime.
He's fun.
He's from the Fallout, which I liked. I thought it was cool with the the new mechanic that they had in there. Why am I totally blanking on
energy?
It? Thank you.
Not a new mechanic, but he did bring a lot of
I guess it's
energy to the table.
The energy, and I liked some of the cards from there and the aesthetic of it as well too. I thought it was fun, and I think it goes with Magic very well. Some of the Universes Beyond stuff.
A big giant.
Weird to me, but this one was cool. Now I got to play him, and then I got to play against him.
Loves artifacts. He kind of likes the Voltron style, but I also just made an affinity for artifacts to kind of give him some things to fight alongside. Aragorn, the Jeskai Aragorn, for Monarch, and doing some fun stuff that way to kind of entrap your opponents. You just have to watch how you're building your mana base, and then also the equity of your energy reserve, and putting protection on these things, because he's kind of expensive to keep getting back out with commander attacks. Darksteel Citadel to give all your artifacts protection, or not protection, indestructible, which is really nice. So if you wanted to be a real dick, but add to the lore of Fallout, you could play an Armageddon in that deck. But if you run a bunch of artifact lands and they're all indestructible, you're going to win. And that is an Armageddon where I would accept, because one, it falls in the flavor of Fallout, and it's like, all right, he's just gonna punch us to death. Good game.
Yeah.
So I like him.
What, like A or B then?
Yeah, let's put him in B.
Okay. Am I going down the row now?
Yeah, you want to talk about Storm?
Storm.
God damn Storm. I played against so many Storm decks at Magic Con. I wanted to rip my eyeballs out and throw them across the
but it's
tables.
not my Storm deck. My Storm deck is dragons.
It is dragons,
which I freaking love. You had asked me how I wanted to build Storm and dragons. I've not had a dragon deck, so Storm is the first time I ever played dragons.
Mm-hmm.
I love her, and I've also never played a Storm deck, not just Storm the character, but Storm. Yep. No, I think she's amazing. I do love playing her. There's been a few times where it didn't do as much as I wanted it to, but I just wasn't drawing the right cards. Or and there's other times where she pops off.
Yeah, she's a big target for removal. So if you can pilot Storm around, I think you did it really well. Like there's some instances where you're like, I could play Storm, but I have nothing to counter a removal spell.
No, I don't.
In a 4-player game. So you've won with just having dragons out before, which is nice. Their colors really build around that. I think Storm really loves Double Strike.
Also, I think she looks amazing.
Yeah, you're playing a lot of. She does look amazing. The fact that she comes out, she has vigilance and flying, makes her very hard to block. But you can also give her Double Strike and then add that to your Storm count. And I think you cast every dragon from your deck.
Yeah, one time,
that you could possibly do. Yeah. And starting off with Miram, so double all your dragons, Twin Flame. Tyrant, which doubles all of your damage with a Terror on the of the peaks, all that on the stacks. Just it's over.
I believe because we counted, because I was able to get out as many dragons as I had in my deck, and I have 16.
I would say it's so easy to break this commander, and the one thing I would say that's a negative to that is if you put one extra turn spell, you put in a mill strategy in there, those games could be like, okay, well, Storm did Storm things next game. But I think something like with dragons or slimes against humanity, that's way more memorable. So I think it depends on who you're playing with. I would say like top of A.
Yeah, I agree.
She is so strong.
She is an Omega level mutant.
She is. She is an 11 out of 10, and that's like the only. I'll do that. Okay, so Wolverine, the best at what he does, and what he does is murder face. You want to. This guy is super shredded. All of his cards are like super hairy, muscular Canadian guy thirst traps, which works for some people.
I feel like it's your deck, but what? Like, it doesn't work for you? That's not your thing?
I mean, if it rains out, he's gonna smell like a wet dog. That's all I'm saying.
He's gonna smell like Merlin?
Yeah, he's gonna smell like Merlin.
That's okay.
So he doubles all of his damage to things. That is him. He regenerates, so he's very hard to kill.
Yes.
On flavor, he's very good at murder.
He is very good at murder, and he has one against when like you and I just played because so we brought our Storm. We didn't bring that many decks when we went to Spain.
Yep.
We brought Storm and Wolverine, and I felt like we were fairly well matched. There were some games you won, some games I turned you into a lizard frog and you lost.
Yes,
and I liked those games. They were fun against each other. So we're doing something with the two of them, and something else pretty soon, and I'm curious to see how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, we were talking about doing like a 2-headed dragon of like Wolverine and Storm together, but I'm like, that is not okay.
Fanfic. The two of them totally get together.
Well, they should try it out. They see how it works out.
Yeah.
If Storm is into those kind of guys, man. But obviously, the Ozlith is going to make an appearance in this deck. It's got a storage house for 1/1 counters. What I want to do is load him with Infect and then just fling him at people, and then just regenerate him so you can fling him at another person. I think Minx and Boo as a Planeswalker in this deck is very funny because you can fling him and he'd be like, "Hey, Boo, watch this, babe," and then he just kills somebody, and then you can keep Boo, which is nice.
Okay, where are you putting him?
I'm gonna put him at the top of B for now. Do you disagree?
That's fine.
He murders hard.
He does murder hard.
Arcades, the strategist. Arcades has a big butt strategy, so he has a ton of walls, which is really nice value. It's Bant, so you're going to have a lot of card draw. He's got built-in card draw. He's got vigilance for protection. He's got flying. He basically turns all of your defending creatures with defender, into attacking with their toughness instead of their power. So
what colors is he? I'm
white, blue, green.
Vaguely remembering him.
Yeah. He is pretty wild. He's fairly consistent. I would say, like, out of consistency, he's an 8 out of 10. He gives you tons of value. All of your walls are very, very cheap, and you can play some old familiar classics like Sunscape Familiar, Wall of Omens, like a lot of card draw in there. If you're trying to do like an alternative win strategy, but there's also some cards that are like, oh, I play this 3 cost and it's a 0/12. Now it's going to hit somebody for 12, which is really nice. There's March of the Ents, so you can draw, if you have a 12 toughness creature, you can play March of the Ents, draw 12 cards, and you play all the creatures from your hand, which is amazing. So yeah, he just wants big walls. You could play him with big walls and big taxes. You can tax everybody at the table.
Everybody loves taxes.
Yeah. I would say that he's like a solid A for me.
Okay.
Let's put him in A.
Okay.
Maybe there will be another D. Depending on what Tori says about Lathril.
Where's that F tier?
Where's F tier?
Yeah. For fucker.
Whoa, that's a different kind of list. That's like we'll do that in a different time. Maybe Astarion will top that one.
I don't want a fucker. Okay, look, I used to like her, but I'm fucking tired of going up against her and losing. All right? I'm tired of it.
You know what's funny is that you recommended it to Catherine, and Catherine started winning, and you're like, fuck this
I didn't expect her to pick it. I was going to actually build my own Lathril deck.
You know what is like was lacking in that conversation for the Bachelorette video? Elves are, maybe they did say it, elves are one of the most supported tribes of all time.
Yeah.
So elves have everything that they could possibly want in a green strategy. Yes. And now with adding black to their identity, they're going to have a life drain effects, and it's just broken. It's amazing. You can play a Wound Reflection in this deck and then drop everybody for 20 instead of 10. And you have all these elves that can attack, and then one card could say like all your elves untap at the end after combat, and then you just smack everybody for another 20, like elf ball.
Yeah, so just put her in F.
Put her in F?
No, she's stronger than that. She's better than that.
All right. Let's put her. Gosh. She'd probably be better than Drist, I think. Okay. Let's talk about Alquist Proft.
Let's do
everybody's favorite set, Murders at Karlov Manor. This is one of our very first box openings for the channel, so we do like it a lot.
I do like it. Also, he's cute.
Yeah, you saw him on the cover of the box, and you're like, I want him. And she was watching a lot of Bridgerton at the time, so the guy kind of looks like one of the actors, but
yeah.
He is Azorius as fuck. There's my F word. He does a lot of infinite card draw.
He would be on my fuck tier, along with Astarion and Storm.
Boy,
okay. Drist would be on yours. I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, well, I'm Lathril, but anyway, moving on.
Lathril, yeah, she would destroy you.
Yeah, most likely. And I would let her, and she could resurrect me in black. Okay, so Alquist Proft, white and blue, you're going to have a lot of cards that can slow the momentum of other players while keeping your momentum fast as F, boy. There's cards like Mechanized Production. So if you want to focus on clues, there's a lot of cards that are even better than clues now. Like Sparks are really good. From Duskmorn, I would look at this guy because he also allows you to draw a ton of cards depending on your clues. So it's fun. It's just like at the time when I was building this deck, and I'm like, I don't know if Tori's gonna really like it because it's very far fetched from the strategies she's used to.
Yeah, it was a little rough for me, I'll be honest, and I don't think I quite caught on to it. But now I feel much more comfortable with other strategies as well as other colors, and I've branched out more from them. And I would like to revisit him. When we were putting this list together, I was like, oh
yeah.
I remembered him because we also put him in my Batman sleeves.
Yeah.
And I would like to revisit him. I thought he was fun. I think there's probably some things we could change up from what it was initially. So I don't think he's super high up on the tier list, and just the fact that his deck could have some work on it.
Would you agree in like kind of C tier?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I would like to revisit him. I think there's a lot of cards in Duskmorn.
Yeah, I think some further sets would have helped him along too.
Okay, so Sophia, the dogged detective.
Tiny.
I play this deck and everybody likes to kill my dog, and I get so upset.
That's because it gets big.
Impossible. His name is Tiny. So Tiny is a legendary token that comes out with Sophia, and Tiny is going to get a lot bigger depending on how many clues that you're building up. Again, comes from Murders at Karlov Manor. I built it as a dog doubler kind of deck. So all your tokens are getting doubled, your counters are getting doubled, your clues are getting you card draw, so you can build up a ton of clues and take things out of like when they're entered with like aerial larcenist to keep cards out in exile essentially until this card goes away. So I can have Tiny go in and attack, so I can make more clues or more things that I need for my win con. It was fun.
You call it your Scooby-Doo deck.
I do call it Scooby-Doo because there was a lot of ghosts in there as well.
We also taught Catherine on that deck.
Yep. So I would say I think she would have liked the deck more if there were more cats involved too. I think she might prefer the cats one.
She does prefer cats.
I would say there's a little bit better of like a Simic style of commander in probably a few other cards, but I would say this is a decent shot at doing like a combo style of decks. Maybe in C tier.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Next up. Next up is your Joey Wheeler deck.
Joey Wheeler, baby.
Roll the dice.
I'll roll some graceful dice, and I'll add some skull dice to it because I like my odds. Mr. House, the house always wins. And if you're playing against this deck, you're going to hear that several times. I'm just letting you know. There's a lot of Fallout fans. There's a lot of people who love the casino strategy. And if you play Mr. House without having the infinity cards, you're a coward. You're a wuss. And let those people play with their theme park cards because they're awesome. I had somebody's commander going on a Ferris wheel. He couldn't leave unless I rolled like a certain number. It's amazing. You're trapping people. You could potentially combo through Hall of Mirrors and make 10 copies of Adult Gold Dragon and have them all attack, and then just netting you so many different tokens.
It is the definition of a chaos deck.
Yeah.
And you tend to like chaos.
I love it. I think this is the most chaos thing.
You're good at it. I think you're good with this one. So
thank you. You're also making robots, so if you want to keep to the Fallout, I think the flavor is really good because he likes to keep robot armies in protection of his wherever he's at in New Vegas. He's very scary, but you could also go against a card that destroys all of your artifacts, like Farewell. So be on the lookout for those, and he counts as an artifact. So I think it's really fun. I think it's a really hard board state to interact with too much. Where would you put Mr. House?
After Lathril. You'd have to think if it's after Drist or not.
Ooh, I think it's kind of above Drist for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Rocco!
Rocco's Modern Life.
No. So Clay built me a Rocco deck after one of my D&D characters, Joffrey, and he is a bit of a chef himself in the D&D. Where does he get his meat? We don't need to know.
From the dungeon floor.
You don't need to ask questions. It's just really good.
Does he do that one thing where he puts it in like a little jar and ferments it for like
That's disgusting. That guy needs help.
But maybe Joffrey's figured out the art though.
Joffrey has. Not a cannibal because he's a tiefling.
Yeah. Can I say this about Rocco?
Yes.
You have won the most times with your Rocco deck more than your other decks.
That's true. Also, I think it's partly because it's a group hug, and so no one really sees it coming. And they're like, yeah, she's got a lot of food over there, but it's just food. What are you going to do with food?
You would think it's a group hug. That we maybe call it group slug too, because it really, the benefit is in your hands. It's not like a gotcha moment. It's just kind of like, oh, thank you for your service and leave a tip at the door. Perfect. Now I have 30 Thopters. I have a Nuka-Cola machine. So now my production of all sodas and clues and treasures are now at an all-time high. You're just making this huge restaurant franchise for yourself.
Yeah. I would say he's above Astarion, but below Storm.
Okay.
For me, at least.
Right up here?
Yeah. I don't know if he's really above Lathril, but I have won with him quite a bit. I do like him a lot.
It's a very hard board state to interact with, too, because you have flyers constantly that can block intercept attacks. You have ways of going infinite in the deck if you stumble upon those, because there's not many tutors. But you can have some really cool cards like a Tally, Primal Conquerors in that deck. So if you don't watch out, you can also, you're just trying to play cards from exile, and that just gives you all the value.
Yes.
Just exile.
Okay, next one.
Ezio de Frenza Avitori.
Fuck this guy too.
What is wrong with you? I was gonna say what's wrong with him, but I thought that was funnier.
Yeah, a lot is wrong with me. One, I am very tired right now.
This is the thirst tier.
This is the thirst tier.
You thought he was really handsome.
He is really handsome, and I don't know. It's kind of when you play really handsome decks, like I just get turned on even more by you.
It's true.
Yeah, TMI. You win every time with this one.
I do not. There's a.
I should not have played Bello against him as a precon.
Oh.
That was stupid.
No. You're like, I really want to play it. I'm like, okay. Well,
yeah, I did.
This is before bracket systems and like
well,
talking
you
about.
wanted to play Ezio and I wanted to play Bello, and they do not match up well when Bello's just a precon.
There's a really cool mechanic called free running. So free running says if you attack with an assassin and deal combat damage, and you're going to get it through because there's a lot of there's menace on a lot of assassins and a lot of death touch and things of that nature. But once you do, one of your cards that say free running in your hand, you can play it for its free running cost. But Ezio says all of your assassins gain free running for 2 black mana, which is not hard to achieve. So turn 2, Ezio is out. That's a very good start to your game plan. And having something like Thraxamundar, where you attack and then everybody sacks a creature, is just like, what in the hell? But these cards, a lot of the assassin cards, don't cost that much. I would say Ezio used to be very expensive. Now he's down to like $5 to $10. So it's a very achievable deck that makes it feel like you're really good at the game. A tier?
You don't think he's that high? You think he's what, a B?
No, I agree with that. I think Ezio for me,
I mean,
because I have won a lot. I would say that my Ezio versus your Storm could be
would be
really good.
Cool. Yeah, that would
battle.
be neat. We've not done that before.
But the one thing I didn't mention about him, if you have Wooburg, at the end of the game, if your opponent had 10 damage at the end of that combat, you pay Wooburg, that player is out. So it's like the ultimate assassin ability. It feels really cool when you can make it work. And when you get killed by it, it's actually kind of sweet because it doesn't happen until way later.
Oh, it's true.
So you're like, oh my God, I was at like 80 hit points. I had like all my food and everything. And then Ezio comes out of nowhere and kills the player that's been in the lead the whole time. It's really cool. So, oh man, is anyone going to match Mowu up there?
Yes.
This is...
I already have my S tier picked out.
The Warhammer version of Zergo Helm Smasher. This is the version I played because I like the orcs. And it's one of the coolest secret layers of all time. But the Zergo Helm Smasher, I would also say this might surprise you, kind of not my thing. I thought of him as like a Voltron style commander. I was playing with Voltrons of like which one was my favorite. I think Rafik, I forgot to put him on this list, but Rafik is my favorite Voltron commander so far. Zergo is indestructible on your turn, and he's a 7/2. So when he's indestructible on your turn, it incentivizes you to blow up the board like every single turn. Board wipe after board wipe after board wipe, because all your things are going to be safe. And you smack with Zergo and just kill somebody. And there's no chance of repairing your board state. That's his whole game plan. And I was like, oh, this could be neat. I played him a couple times. One was like a 6-player commander game. That's way too many unless you're playing Kingdom. I would say Zergo Helm Smasher might be in the same territory as Narset for me.
Okay, that's fine.
I know it's good. A lot of people are going to disagree with it, but I think like it's just not really my style. And this tier list is kind of like how we like to play and like what the factors are. Okay, so getting down to the wire. Let's talk about Slimefoot the Stowaway. S tier. God dang.
Slimefoot will always have a special place in my heart. Slimefoot is the first deck that I really played, that I learned how to play Magic on. I have 3 versions of Slimefoot now, courtesy of Clayton. And I love Slimefoot. He makes me so happy. He's like, he's like, for me, curling up with a blankie in the chair with the Merlin and playing my jazz music, like my smooth jazz, and reading with a nice cup of tea. He's just like home for me.
When I see Slimefoot, when you mention jazz music, I think the thing that overpowers the jazz music is the tuba that you hear as he's just walking around like stomping.
No, I don't think
he's making those little noises.
Jazz goes with him.
So he's like,
he's just amazing for me. You don't have to put him in S actually if you don't want to.
No. I'm deferring to you on this. Like, I've never had a problem with going against Slimefoot either.
He doesn't always win. I think Storm's more powerful.
Slimefoot. Okay, so you're looking for the golden 3. You're looking for a sack outlet that gives you mana. Ashnod's Altar. You're looking for any token doubler, and you want Slimefoot out and enough mana to get his first activation of a Saproling, right? Sacrifice it. You can just start or sacrifice both Saprolings. It's an infinite combo, life drain, they're dead. But there are really fun things that you could do with Yawgmoth. There's a Craterhoof Behemoth. Tori has this kind of secondary strategy. It's like if she can't get the golden 3, she's going to make a bunch of Saprolings and then just buff them up and kill you with a Craterhoof Behemoth. Or she could play a Triumph of the Hordes and have her Saprolings give everybody infect. So it's like The Last of Us, where everybody's just getting attacked by clickers.
It's really like that. I think the plants should take over.
Yeah, that's how I imagine her deck is actually operating. It's like, oh, cute mushrooms. And they're like, no. It's The Last of Us. You're going to get your head fucking ripped off.
Yeah. So no, he doesn't. He doesn't always win, but I do like him a lot. I hate talking about that. There's anything negative with Slimefoot, but there isn't always a ton of interacting with others, particularly on their turn. Yeah. So if you are someone who likes to do that, this is not the deck for you.
But you do things at instant speed, though.
I
so
do.
If they're targeting your things, you could respond by sacking your Saprolings to play other things or do as much damage to them before like the board gets wiped.
Which I have done that before. Is like I punish someone and it basically just take them down a bunch before they take me out of the game, which really feels good. I like that.
Oh yeah, like they also take 26 damage for your efforts.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I didn't think I was gonna get nuked that hard.
Yeah, so he doesn't actually have to be. He doesn't have to actually be an S tier. I love him. He always just feels good when I play him, and it's like I know what I'm doing with this one.
I will keep him in S tier because when people think of you, they think of Slimefoot. Aww. So I think that's a good place for him.
Squishy big guy.
Yeah, and you enjoy playing him, so well they don't. Yeah, you want to cosplay as Slimefoot?
Yeah, I'll be the sexy Slimefoot.
You could wear like a little mushroom cap, as a hat.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. And the little staff, and go to Gen Con.
Oh, there you go.
All right, Xanathar, Guild or Kingpin.
This guy.
It's my favorite Dimir deck. I will say that it's my favorite Dimir deck ever. Put it up there.
It's high up. It makes you so happy. It is actually fun to play with. It's fun to play with him. He does make it quite interesting to play against.
He does shut somebody down for their turn, but you can only do that to one person unless you give yourself more upkeep triggers. Wink, wink. But he also could look at the top card of your library, and that's what he does throughout Waterdeep. He looks, into what's going on in the surface world, what's going on in his sewers. He has tabs on everything. And then he could also play those cards against you using his own mana. So the thing that I like about it, and a lot of players may disagree and say, like, I don't want people stealing all my cards because I'm playing, like a bracket 3 deck and a bracket 2 deck, or in a bracket 2 pod. But Xanathar, I will always bring him with me because if I don't know what power scaling everybody is at, what style of decks people are playing and what their strategies are, I will play Xanathar to scale myself to the pod and to scale myself to other players. So say that I could...
That's why I do like playing against him.
Yeah. And I've actually at MagicCon have stolen a Blightsteel Colossus with him. I've also... I've never owned a Sheoldred the Apocalypse because it's down to like $80 for just that card. But I've used Bribery from the Secret Lair. So I went through somebody's deck and I played Sheoldred, which was really funny in a wheel game. It's just a fun time every time I play it. And if I'm confused and I don't know what to do, it's just because I'm not finding the correct strategy to deal with players. So it makes me think. It's also when I thought I was going through a stroke because my vision was getting all hazy because I was reading so many cards. I'm like, I know what my deck does. Now I have to read everybody else's shit. So very fun. I was having fun as Xanathar. Okay, last two. The 10th Doctor. I'm a ginger. That's what he says in the show.
Yeah, we got to work on your David Tennant accent, though.
Yeah, I forgot he's also Scottish in that one.
He's not.
He's not Scottish as the Doctor?
No.
I thought he was.
No, he just does that one for one episode.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Perfect impression. There. Okay. So
what am I supposed to like?
Just record his line and then just say it over my lips.
Yeah.
Sync his lips to my lips.
Oh, if only.
Okay.
Well, it's David Tennant, so he's S tier.
S tier?
Yeah, he's also on my fuck tier too.
Well, I'm gonna argue against this. He's an F tier.
He is not. You know that. Okay. I will say he was the first deck that I purchased. It was a pre-con, and then we have updated it and changed it. I run him and Rose, obviously.
Yeah.
So I he's fun. I do think he's fun. There are times when, he doesn't always win, which is fine. I don't want a deck that guarantees to always win. I do feel like it does interact quite a bit with other decks and on other turns, and it can do board wiping, which I know pisses people off, and it's the only deck that I really have that does full on board wipes.
You're in Jess, guys, so
yeah,
you've got good board wipes.
I do. I like it a lot. It is a lot for a new player to learn with the time counters and things phasing in and out. And I have learned that it is also a lot for new players to play against because they're not fully understanding what's going on. So then they're not really sure how they can interact with your deck. So I think it's something that needs to be played with people who are at least like intermediate level Magic players. I would think more at either a high B or an A.
Really? I thought you were going to say S for sure.
Oh, it can be an S. I love it.
Okay, you said high B and A.
To me, like, it's not perfect, but I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun, and whenever I play it, it's move it up higher, move it up higher, move it up higher.
If you want it there.
No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't. Where would you put it? Because I'm biased.
Here's what I like about it. When you are playing things and you're putting them in exile, it's kind of like the ultimate like gangster kind of move because you're just kind of like, here's what I'm going to cook you with at some point. You just don't know when I'm going to do it.
Because I could speed up or slow down time.
That's true. And now I have all these things in exile. So not only am I going to beat you with these cards, I'm going to show you how you're going to die.
Yes, I do like that.
Which is hilarious. I think it's like the ultimate,
it's a little
like
sadistic
bravado
feeling, and I love it.
But there's some really cool cards that like being played from exile, so you can exile those with time counters. Those are really nice. There's a few other cards from previous sets and things that you can add to it. Really good counters. You're playing blue, and he's a low-cost commander, so you could play Fierce Guardianship as one of your main three.
And out of all of the Universes Beyond decks that we have, my 10th Doctor deck is more of that Universes Beyond than any other deck we have.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, there's more Doctor Who stuff in there, and I just find that to be really fun because it is the thing that got me into Magic.
I would say,
not that I need a deck that has to be Universes Beyond. I hope people get what I'm saying.
This Universes Beyond is probably one of the best ones, though, because it had really on-flavor cards, desperate things that needed to be reprinted. I really love the Farewell, where everybody lives, being a couple of standouts for me. So you can really affect somebody with this deck, because you said a lot of board wipes, but you didn't mention everybody lives and potentially saving somebody.
Yeah, I could.
Which is so cool. I love being able to interact with the board in a lot of different ways of like, hey, I want to be friends. Let's be friends. But there's also Azorius in there, so you could also build it so you can have infinite card draw with him and Rose Tyler. I've seen Rose smack somebody for 30 before, and that counts as commander damage with just Rose.
Yeah, she's great.
And it's two different commanders, so it's the variety of games is always going to be different with these two.
That's what I like.
That's why I would say it was an S tier.
Okay, then good.
I like playing against it.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes me so happy. Okay, Tiamat. S tier.
Right. And
thanks everybody for watching.
Yep. What can I say about Tiamat? Tiamat is just.
Whoa! Why'd you put?
That's what I did. I thought I did the bit because I was like, all right, and then it goes in F tier.
No, I said S tier. Oh. I said S tier. It's Tiamat. If Clay was going to join a cult, it would be the cult of Tiamat.
Well, yeah.
If you were gonna leave me for a female, it would be Tiamat.
We're evil cultists, but we're also it's like we don't discriminate, right? So we can also have anybody join the cult of the Dragon Queen. 5 different heads, all all parts of the different spectrum of like who you are as a person. They don't care. If you're chaos, if you're part chaos, you have a really good thing that we're looking for as far as like resumes go. So Tiamat draws. You just tutor for 5 different dragons not named Tiamat and go directly into your hand. Flavor Win. It's also a 7/7 for 7 in Wooburg. I love Wooburg commanders. This is my very favorite Wooburg commander, even more so than the Dragon. Dragon gives you discounts, gives you eminence, which is kind of a crazy mechanic. I can't believe they ever introduced that to the world of Magic. What were you thinking? That's trash. It's weird. Things that could affect your board state from the command zone. That's crazy. Tiamat, where it has to work a little bit harder, but I think Tiamat results in so many different strategies. And I think it's more than even the Dragon, because you can tutor for any 5 dragons. I think this is going to be huge coming up in Dragonstorm, Tarkir Dragonstorm, and Final Fantasy with some reprints.
I'm curious to see how Storm and Tiamat are going to change our decks after Dragons of Tarkir.
Well,
I'm sorry. Mentioning Storm, what did you, the last time you played Tiamat, who did you lose to?
I lost a Storm. But here's the thing. Tiamat's dragon army has expanded its scope, and it's not only recruiting dragons, it's recruiting changeling dragons. Oh. So now there's these really cool changelings I want to introduce you to that could copy the strengths of all your best dragons in and out of the graveyard, which is really cool. You could build a Tiamat dragon reanimator deck, which is really cool.
That would be fun.
Even if you're playing in a lower bracket, you get so many cards that you're going to have to pitch 1 or 2. So if you have a reanimate, you might want to, as you're doing your cleanup step, put something really good like a Terror of the Peaks so you can reanimate, then put Terror of the Peaks out into your field, which is really, so much value in that. So you build it more around Rakdos. But I've also had I call my new Tiamat deck the Dream Queen, because there's a card called Dream Halls where you discard cards to just play Tiamat. A lot cheaper. There's so many different ways that you could build it, because I think even dragons are a more supported archetype than elves. I think dragons, you can have an answer for everything. You could sneak attack a Balefire dragon and wipe someone in particular's board. So say they play like a token go wide strategy, you have an answer to it. You have something that you need a lot of mana for. You play Old Gnawbone or a Goldspan Dragon, you've got your mana fixing. You've got answers to so many different things, and you can combo out with this deck. It looks super intimidating. It's the most metal Dungeons & Dragons character of all time, in my opinion. And first episode of the Dungeons & Dragons TV show was Tiamat. The Dungeon Master is sick, sadistic, and I love him for that. To just put the players against Tiamat session 1 and see how they deal with that. So
rude.
Yeah, I love Tiamat. I think it's just exactly why I play Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons.
It's very synonymous with you.
Thank you. And I know Joe Manganiello is probably like more well known for playing Tiamat. But Joe, here's the thing.
Get you there, Clay. He's a bit older.
I'm just a way better Magic player than you are. I'm calling you out. You know, you can get there because you've got the goddamn reality show money. I just
reality show money.
Yeah, he's a reality TV show host now. You know that?
Oh yeah, now he is.
That's Survivor Island.
That's not how he made his money before.
Oh, well, I mean, you can use all your Spider-Man money on all of your cool moxes and things like that. But I can even beat the moxes because I don't need it. I just need the heart of the underdog.
All right. Some of us drank a lot and now have to pee. So let's wrap this up.
Just kidding. I love Joe Manganiello.
I know you do.
And then so here's our tier list. Tell us where we got it wrong, where we got it right. Tell us how much you want to punch me in the face. And until then, the vaults are closing.
Yep. You should have said thank you, but that's fine.
Thank you. And also subscribe.
Oh yeah, please subscribe.